Hello, my name is Josiah Rea. I'm going to show you how to freeze your table size in Word. And this basically means as you begin to insert text or graphics or whatever into the cells, they're not going to resize and kind of mess up any positioning or formatting you have on the table. So I'm here inside of Word, and the first thing I'm going to do is make a table. So let's insert a table. I'm just going to draw it real quick. So about that big should be good. And I'm going to go into Layout, and I'm going to split up the cells. So probably 4 and 4 should be all right. And there we go. Now, the next thing we're going to do is actually format these cells. So let's go into Properties, and we're going to go to Row, and I would like to specify the height as about 0.5, so at least 0.5, and the column preferred width as 1. Say OK. All right, that's a pretty decent looking table. Now let's start to insert some text into this first cell. So I'm just going to start randomly typing text. But you notice as I do, it's expanding that cell and pushing everything else down. So the cells down from it aren't getting crushed, but they are taking up more of the page. That's not really what we want. I'm going to remove that text, and instead let's select the table again and go to Properties. And underneath Row, when we specified the height, instead of saying at least, let's say exactly. And that's going to come in handy in a moment. Let's go back to Table also and click on Options. And this says automatically resize to fit content. So we're going to say no, we don't want to do that. Now what that basically is going to do is enable word wrapping inside the cell. So when the words hit the edge of the cell, it's going to kick it down to a new line. Now if we didn't say we want the row height to be exactly that size, instead of spreading the table out that way, it would spread it down as the words begin to wrap and go further and further down. So we've kind of disabled all of that, and the table should be completely frozen. So if we begin to type, you notice as the letters hit the edge of the cell, they begin to move down a line, but the table is not resizing, so they're kind of disappearing into nether space below that cell. It is important to note though, try to arrange these properties one at a time instead of doing multiple properties at once. For example, you go into Properties and set the row height and make sure that it says exactly and say OK. Then go back to Properties and set the column width. Say OK. And then go back to Properties and go to Table, Options, and make sure Automatically Resize is not enabled, and close out those dialog boxes. The reason is occasionally Word will ignore some of your changes if you create too many all at once. So it's kind of a hassle, but really if you want all of your changes to be reflected in the table, you kind of need to do them one at a time. I hope you've enjoyed this video on how to freeze your table size in Microsoft Word. If you have any other questions, please contact me at josiah@jraystudios.com. I'm Josiah Rea.